Hi everyone. Buying a new home is an exciting and joyous occasion, but it's important to remember that along with the purchase price of the house, there are several additional charges that you will have to pay. Now, in this video, we'll discuss the 5 different charges that you should be aware of when buying a house in India, and I'm going to share 4 tips to manage those charges. So, let's begin. Now, the first one is stamp duty and registration charges. These charges are mandatory and vary from state to state. The stamp duty is a tax levied on the property transaction, while the registration charges is the cost of registering the property in your name. Now, like in Maharashtra, stamp duty in urban areas is 6%. For Mumbai city and suburban areas, it is 5%, and for rural areas, it is 4%. Now, along with existing stamp duty in Maharashtra, additional taxes applicable are in urban areas falling under municipal corporation and municipal council limits. There is a cess or local body tax payable. This is 1% of the property value and is intended to be used for funding transport infrastructure projects in cities such as metros, bridges, flyovers, and so on. Now, in rural areas which fall under Gram Panchayat and not under the jurisdiction of any municipal corporation, this cess is replaced by Zilla Parishad cess. This cess is also payable at 1% of the property consideration value. Now, an additional surcharge of 0.5% is applicable on areas falling under the Nagpur Municipal Corporation, that is NMC, and Nagpur Improvement Trust, that is NIT jurisdictions. This is over and above 1% cess that is payable. Now, some states offer reduced stamp duty charges for female home buyers. Like in Maharashtra, there is a 1% stamp duty waiver to women home buyers. Now, let's talk about registration charges, which in Maharashtra is around 1% of the total cost incurred by the purchase of a property or land. Now, this rate falls under the rupees 30 lakh slab, and the rate is capped at rupees 30,000 for all the properties that cost beyond rupees 30 lakhs. Now, next is GST. If you are buying an under construction property, you will have to pay goods and services tax in addition to the purchase price. So, those who are purchasing flats and apartments in under construction developments in India's mega cities in 2023 would be required to pay GST. GST on the purchase of a affordable housing unit would be 1% without input tax credit. So, GST on the purchase of a non affordable housing unit would be 5% without input tax credit. You all must be wondering what is input tax credit, right? So, comment in the chat box below on your understanding of input tax credit. If I get enough comments, I will make another video to brief you all about ITC, that is input tax credit. Now, for metro cities, the property comes under affordable housing if the area under construction house is 60 square meter and price is up to 45 lakhs. Likewise, for non-metro cities, the property comes under affordable housing if area under construction house is 90 square meter and price is up to 45 lakhs. Now note that the GST does not apply to buying apartments in completed developments. A finished project has already received a certificate of completion from appropriate authorities. Now let's examine some samples of GST computation for Indian apartment purchases. Now let's assume cost of property per square feet as rupees 5,000 and the GST for affordable segment is 1%. So the GST amount will come out to be rupees 5 and the total cost inclusive of GST would be rupees 5,005. Likewise, the computation is being done for non-affordable housing as well, considering 5% GST. I hope you got the idea. Now, let me tell you the commercial property GST is 12% with input tax credit, and plot purchases are exempt from GST. Now, let's talk about the next charges, that is maintenance charges. The residents or owners of a particular property in an area are charged for the maintenance of a commonly owned property area. It is collected periodically, that is monthly, semi-annually, or annually depending upon the project. Now, in our country, builders charge between rupees 2 to rupees 25 per square foot depending upon the area and city as maintenance charges. The maintenance charges are directly proportional to the number of facilities offered within the housing society. Now, if society management charges rupees 2 per square feet, the facilities offered would be minimum. If the management of the housing society charges nearing 25 per square feet for a similar measurement of property, the facilities offered would be many and luxurious. So this amount needs to be paid to enjoy the uninterrupted services provided within the society premises. Now let's talk about parking charges. So the Supreme Court has upheld the order of Bombay High Court and held that parking spaces cannot be sold to outsiders by the builders. Now they are a part of common areas and the cost of that land has to be charged to all flat owners in proportion to their carpet area. Make sure to clear this out when you book a flat in an under construction project and be sure to factor in such charges. Now, talking about brokerage fees, if you are using a real estate agent, you will have to pay brokerage fees, which can be a significant amount. Now, in India, the majority of properties are sold with the help of a real estate broker or agent. When a broker helps a seller and buyer get in touch with each other and both the parties agree to engage in the transaction, then both the parties are required to pay a certain percentage of the property value as a fee to real estate broker. Now, there are no specific guidelines laid for commission paid to the real estate brokers. In India, real estate agents usually ask the seller and buyer to pay 1 to 2% of the deal value as their commission, also known as the real estate brokerage fee. For instance, in case there is a property deal of rupees 1 crore, the broker would get rupees 1 lakh from the seller and rupees 1 lakh from the buyer, or the broker might get the entire 2% from either of the parties. While it isn't common, some brokers might also ask for a flat fee if they help you buy or sell your dream property. Now, coming to the part where I give you tips for managing the additional charges. So the first step is research. Research the additional charges that are applicable in your state before you finalize the deal. Now the second tip is budget. Keep aside a budget for additional charges so that you are prepared for them. Now the third tip is to negotiate. Try to negotiate with the seller to reduce some of the additional charges. And fourth tip is to check the paperwork. Ensure that all the charges are mentioned in the sale agreement so that there are no surprises later. So thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more informative videos on real estate investment.